And I think that you are looking at the future mayor of Chicago in City Hall right now.
So why did Chance endorse Amara Enyia? I have friends who work on and volunteer for Amara's campaign. I'll do my best to present her accomplishments and concerns as objectively as possible. Also, a reminder from a previous episode, hold me accountable. Remember, I try to cite my sources as often as I can, but make sure I'm telling you the truth. If you think I'm wrong, put it down in the description down below in a thoughtful, productive way. If you're right, I'll be sure to respond and edit the description with a correction. But keep in mind this dirty little secret about some campaigns. If they feel like there's bad press about their candidate, they'll send over volunteers to make negative comments and delegitimize the source. Our job as citizens is to figure out who's acting in good faith and who's not. So be critical of the comments and me. Now that you're appropriately paranoid, let's get back to the episode. When you go through Amara Enyia's biography, there's one thing that really pops out. She's really accomplished in academia. As an undergraduate at UIUC, she double majored in broadcast journalism and political science. She went on to receive a law degree and then a PhD in educational policy studies. That's an impressive education. She went on to work as a policy analyst for Mayor Richard M. Daley's office in 2008. I think it would be an easy attack to criticize her for working for a Daley, but I think her response is compelling. She said that her experience in City Hall opened her eyes to what was a very clear disconnect between those making policy and those impacted by it. In politics, you don't always get to work for someone you believe in. She was right out of school, and I believe her on this front. After her work in the mayor's office in 2011, she went to the Chicago's West Side, where she served as executive director for Austin Coming Together, an organization that works on improving education and economic development where I am right now, the Austin neighborhood. She worked on programs that hired and trained unemployed and hard to employ individuals like ex-offenders. It's really cool stuff. She also formed her own consulting firm, Ace Municipal Partners. I'll go more into her clients in a bit, but I haven't been able to find a lot of details about what exactly it does. In 2014, Amara announced that she was going to challenge Rob for mayor, but she dropped out before 2015 and didn't make it on the ballot. After her mayoral run, she spent the next several years as a public policy consultant and as the executive director for the Austin Chamber of Commerce. She also said she founded a nonprofit organization called the Institution for Cooperative Economics and Economic Innovation, with partnership with a technology nonprofit called Blue 1647. But I'll go into that in a minute. She went on to have a brief stint as a village manager for University Park, the village where she was raised. Quite honestly, I didn't know that villages were still a thing. But yeah, University Park is a real village, and she was kind of the CEO of it. There's some weird stuff from her time as a village manager that I'll go more into, but now she's running for mayor. Amara's biography is a bit shorter than other candidates because she's younger, and she spent a lot of time in school. And quite honestly, she doesn't have a ton of government experience, so it's harder for me to find out the details of what she's done. I think that's part of the appeal for Amara. In a lot of ways, she feels uncorrupted, especially since she's so vocal about her incredible progressive vision for Chicago. But she does have some serious concerns. She hasn't released her tax returns. In her profile in the Sun-Times, she said, "I am a staunch advocate for transparency in city government." I don't believe her because she hasn't demonstrated it herself.
I don't see why this is an issue for you. She only made like $10,000 in 2016. Obviously, she doesn't have any conflicts of interest.
I actually think that's fair. Although it's impossible to say for certain without her releasing her full tax returns, I don't think she has conflicts of interests.
So then why are you upset about her not releasing her tax returns?
It's a matter of precedent. Suppose Amara makes it to the runoff, wins the election, and is a fantastic mayor.
Sounds great.
Well, at some point, she'll step down as mayor, and you know who'll run to replace her? Hi, I'm Mr. Wealthy Man, and I'm here to earn your vote. Mr. Wealthy Man, how can we trust you if you haven't released your tax returns? Oh, please. Mayor Enyia, who everyone loves, never released her tax returns, and look how great of a job she did. Tax returns don't matter. And he'd be right. Breaking the decades-long precedent of releasing your tax returns can have serious consequences, especially if it's coming from a progressive candidate like Amara Enyia. I'm not letting this issue drop. Amara also has a poor record of handling her personal finances. When she first ran for mayor in 2014, she racked up $12,000 in fines for failing to file quarterly campaign reports. This is a totally avoidable administrative mistake that should not be made. She also didn't report to the IRS $21,000 paid to her as a consultant for Chris Kennedy's gubernatorial campaign. This was a quarter of her 2017 income. Her explanation was that the Kennedy campaign didn't give her the proper tax forms in a timely fashion, but when campaign officials from the Kennedy campaign said that they did, she changed her story and said that she forgot to give the forms to her accountant. Amara has also admitted that she's underpaid her taxes in the past. The IRS said that she owed more than $9,000 from unpaid taxes from 2011 to 2015. I don't think her problematic personal finances is disqualifying, but I also don't buy Amara's argument that her track record is actually an asset. Forgetting to file your tax returns does not make you a more relatable candidate. If she can't handle her own personal finances, can she handle the historically complicated issues of Chicago city budget? I think it's a fair question to ask. Another point of concern, Amara's most significant government job did not turn out well. Amara was the village manager for University Park, but things went south pretty quick. She was only village manager for 61 days and apparently had some contention with board members, with some accusing her of not showing up for work. Amara denies this. There were also reportedly disagreements about her salary possibly being as high as $180,000 per year, which village trustees said they couldn't afford. Amara claims that the board was uninterested in changing their ways towards better financial practices. But I think it's important to note that in her biggest government authority, she left rather quickly when faced with what she said was a resistance to change. What a village manager does in a lot of ways is similar to that of a mayor. It would have been really validating political experience had she done it well. Amara also has tiny inaccuracies about her personal history that individually aren't a big deal, but cumulatively is kind of just weird. First, Amara holds a ton of degrees, 2 bachelors, 1 law, and 1 PhD. The weird thing is she also says she holds a master's degree in education. But when I called the UIUC Office of Registrar twice, both times they were like, "The student you're referencing doesn't hold a master's degree." I contacted the campaign to see if they had any comments, but they never got back to me. It's common for people to finish the coursework for a master's on their way to getting a PhD, but you still often have to write a thesis and complete paperwork to actually receive the master's degree. I don't care that she doesn't have a master's degree, but why lie about it if you already have 4 other amazing degrees? I'm just confused. Another weird thing. She submitted 40,000 petitions to get on the ballot, which is a lot and a really impressive number. But she keeps claiming she got 62,000 petitions. Why exaggerate an already impressive number? I'm just confused. She also listed herself as a senior advisor for Blue 1647, an innovation technology hub. But the founder of the company said that she never had a role or title with the organization. She already has an impressive resume, so why lie about that? I'm just confused. None of these things are individually a big deal, but when you claim to be the only real progressive on the ballot, it's not a good look to lie about things that you totally don't need to lie about. Another concerning trend is that Amara has teamed up with people who aren't necessarily progressive. Amara consulted for an organization called Kids First Chicago, a nonprofit that was founded by a group that played a key role in shutting down 50 public schools in 2010. When she dropped out of the mayor's race, instead of endorsing Chuy Garcia, as most progressives had, she chose Bob Fioretti? She also took $200,000 from a guy you probably know.
This hat, it gives me power in a way.
She's also taken an endorsement from former mayoral candidate Dorothy Brown. Dorothy Brown is the clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, but she's had a history filled with corruption. You could apparently buy a job in Dorothy Brown's office for $10,000. She's currently under federal investigation. Also, her former employees have said that they felt pressured to donate cash at Dorothy's birthday parties and that showering her with gifts was the best way to earn promotions. And yet, Amara happily advertised Dorothy Brown's endorsement. All of this brings us back to,
I think that you are looking at the future mayor of Chicago in City Hall right now.
I'm a big fan of Chance's music, and it's incredible how active Chance has been in Chicago.
Chance the Rapper, working to bring computer science education to Chicago public schools.
But I have a problem with Chance. Not that he endorsed Amara. He picked the person who he thought was best for the job, and I can respect that. No, my problem is that Chance and Kanye have donated more than 90% of what Amara's raised. And let's be honest, Kanye only donated because of Chance's endorsement. I don't think it's ridiculous to say that Amara would not be able to run a viable campaign without Chance's endorsement and donation. She hasn't been able to get small dollar donations or union support the way you'd expect from a progressive candidate. But all of this makes Chance a political kingmaker. And no matter how well-intentioned, political kingmakers are bad for our democratic process. And Chance knows how much power he has.
But I'd like to say very narcissistically, if I back you, you have a chance, absolutely.
It's one thing to boost somebody, it's another to be their sustainer. Oprah's endorsement of Obama in 2007 added to a momentum that already existed and boosted him further along. It felt like Chance was trying to create a momentum that hadn't organically taken off. The campaign uses Chance's endorsement more than I've seen any other campaign use an endorsement, period, political or celebrity. I don't want to make it seem like I'm hating on Chance. I think Chance did some great work in civic education by releasing a video educating people on the role of the alderman. I kind of wish he did more of that. If you disagree with me about Chance's endorsement and donation, please throw it down in the comments in a thoughtful way. I'm open to having my mind changed, but I wanted to let you know how I feel. But going back to Amara, she's shown that she stands for progressive values and has developed a platform that forces other candidates to the left. She also has some incredible supporters whose goals I think I share. But my biggest concern with her is that she hasn't run a transparent campaign, and I'm not sure she has a track record to prove that she'll be able to deliver on her incredible progressive vision for the city. And her ties to unsavory characters make me wonder if the trend will continue if she's in power. But overall, I'm glad she's running to be our next mayor. Thanks so much for watching this episode. If you think more people should learn about Amara Enyia, please consider sharing this video. As you can see in the credits down below, I've been getting help from incredible volunteers and friends to help research, film, and edit. If you'd be interested in helping out with this project, definitely shoot me a message or email me at chicagosnewboss@gmail.com. This is something that I'm doing full time, and it's an entirely crowdfunded show. So if you'd like to help out, I have a Patreon set up. Go to the Patreon link and definitely take a look. Thanks so much. Remember, the election is on February 26th, but early voting has started. So if you know who you're voting for, definitely go vote.